today about tips that I have learned. You're going to hear Bree in the background maybe. Tips that I have learned over the last 36 years to keep me as healthy as I can. In this country, there are 189 million prescriptions for depression. That's almost 2/3 of the people in the United States. I am now 36 years in 10 days caring for my daughter 24/7. And I am medication free. I could be the grandmother to most of the Wolf-Hirschhorn children I know, and the mom to all the moms out there. And Bree is 36 in a couple of days, so she is older than some of the moms. It hasn't come easy. I'm doing this because I hope it would somehow make it easier for the other parents. When Bree was 27, I had a crash, and that was the only year in all of the years that I was on medication for a year. And I wanted to get off of it as soon as possible because of the side effects. I mean, antidepressant, anti-anxiety drugs will put weight on your body. They'll numb you out. There's just not good side effects with antidepressant drugs. So there's a few things that I have found that worked. They don't necessarily come in order, but they're easy things. Mainly I'm trying to find things that are pretty easy. I know how overwhelmed, how stressed out, how fatigued. I've been through years of wondering, was I going to be able to stay awake long enough to put Bree to bed? So, and I know the devastation, and I know the down times, and there's still days that I'm in tears, but I don't need medication. So anyway, the first one, very simple. You could actually do this and take your shower at the same time, and it's very beneficial for keeping you cold and flu-free. And it's oil pulling. It's like 4,000 years old. It's very simple. What you do is you take some coconut oil, either Dr. Bonner's or Skinny, and put a good teaspoon in your mouth. Now I do this first thing in the morning. I come out, put it in, and then I start doing things around for about 20 minutes. You want to do it a minimum of 15 to, some people say 5, but really, if you can only do it for 10 to start off, get in the shower and take your shower while you're doing it. Put it in your mouth. It's going to melt in your mouth, and swish it around. Just keep swishing it around all over your mouth. It's antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial. So there are over 600 bacteria in our mouth. So you keep your mouth clean. That's the entrance to your whole digestive system. So it's going to keep you healthier overall. Fresher breath. It also whitens your teeth. It protects the enamel on your teeth. So it's all beneficial. I've literally had plaque. It also will lessen the plaque. I've had plaque just literally fall off my teeth with the oil pulling. So this is for the parents because a lot of our kids can't do this. But anyway, it's really a wonderful thing you can do. I do it in the morning doing things. You can do it in the shower. You could do it in the evening watching TV. Please spit it out in the trash, not in your sink or your toilet, because it can solidify after it's spit out. So, and you want to spit that out. Don't swallow that, because that's full of all kinds of bacteria that you're getting rid of. Okay? So I think I've covered everything for also fresher breath. Someone that started it that I know of does it in the evening, and she said when she wakes up in the morning she doesn't have morning breath anymore. So that's a nice thing. The next thing is very easy to do. Make sure you're getting vitamin D3. Way over 50% of the population in the United States is vitamin D deficient. The further north you go, the more vitamin D deficient you are. It is related to cancer. It is related to MS. It is just across the board, the deficiency of what vitamin D is related to. Also seizures, by the way. So Both Bree and I were tested for vitamin D3 deficiency about 4 or 5 years ago, and we were both under 30. And you don't want to be under 50, basically, for your markers. And so what I did for both of us is for 3 months, I did 10,000 IUs a day to boost us up. The last time I was tested, I was at 76, which is perfect. That's just for anti-cancer and for a lot of things, perfect range between 60 and I think it's 80 or something. Now I do 5,000 IUs every day for the rest of my life. Make sure you get a good one, and if it has K2 in it, that's good too. Make sure it's gluten-free. I get mine from my chiropractor. Please, when you're buying an important supplement, do not get it at some Walmart or make sure you get it at a good store, a good health food store, a good health food co-op. Make sure you get a good brand, okay? The other thing that's really important, and this is no time consuming, is magnesium. Magnesium, making sure you get enough magnesium is really important. And so both of these are you just pop them in your mouth and you're done for the day. Magnesium, if you go into an emergency room in a hospital, the things that are given for stroke, heart problems, seizure problems are liquid magnesium. So magnesium is really, really important, and the percentage of deficiency in the United States of magnesium, it's a critical nutrient, is also 50% minimum of Americans are deficient. Stress. Magnesium goes out of your body under stress. So every parent I know is under stress. So I take personally, and so does Bree, 360 milligrams 3 times a day with each meal. I get a good gluten-free magnesium once again, and that's just ongoing. So magnesium is a critical nutrient. And you can find it in brown rice, millet, sea vegetables, and I'm thinking those are things that Bree and I do eat, but most of the population, unless they're macrobiotic, they don't eat sea vegetables. So, and we take it even with that. Okay. All right. So oil pulling, vitamin D, magnesium. Okay. Another very easy one is your intake of water every day. You need to take in half your body weight in ounces. So if I'm 120, 125, usually range around there, I take, 64 ounces a day. How I personally do it is in the morning when I get up, after I've done the oil swishing, I've brushed my teeth, and then I have a 16-ounce glass that I use, and I will do my morning meditation and my morning reading and drink 2 of those, which means I've gotten 4 glasses of water in right there. And then that's the way I start my day. It's a great way to start your day, to just clear out your body, is to just start with some water. So if you don't have enough water, also if you don't drink enough water, you don't produce enough saliva, which will prevent tooth decay. So it's really important. And if you're hungry, drink some water first. Maybe you're thirsty, and that's one thing they say is a lot of times people are actually thirsty when they think they're hungry. If you have an ache or pain or a headache, drink some water first. And you'll be surprised that there's a possibility you're dehydrated. So how I do it is I start making sure I get the 4 in the morning and then throughout the day. Okay, and please don't drink water, bottled water from the plastic bottles that just you can squeeze like that, because the plastic toxins go into the water. Please, some good spring water, some good filtered water from your home. The quality of water is really important too. All right, what's the next thing? Okay, the next thing I do this for Bree every night. I massage her feet. Your feet, in reflexology, the bottom of your feet are related to every part of your body. And I'm trying to think of a simple way that you can get a massage. If you want, if you wait for someone to give you a foot massage, it might never happen. So it's very easy. I use coconut oil. Watching TV, I put a hand towel down because of the coconut oil, and I just massage my feet. I put a timer on for 10 minutes. The blend I use is coconut oil mixed with some frankincense and myrrh. It's lovely. You can also use lavender. It's lovely. Or just a straight coconut oil. And just massage your feet. And then put a sock on because it's going to be a little bit oily. Then put a sock on after that. It's a great self-nurturing, easy thing to do watching TV. Okay? And if you can turn off the TV, an hour before bedtime to stop the noise, because what you're watching affects you and how well you're sleeping. And also, I've been through years of where I'd have a glass of wine at night or coffee would keep me going all day. And I never slept as well. And also the coffee will drain your adrenals. Because caregivers, that's where we burn out. Our adrenals burn out. That's where your cortisol comes from. And seeing a nutritionist and getting some adrenal support would be a good idea long term. Also, now I'm going to talk about something. All of those things are pretty easy to do. The next thing I'm going to talk about is called a ginger body scrub. And we'll talk about foot baths too. So what I have here is basically, what's this, considered a lobster pot. You can get these at any hardware store. And this is a medicinal thing, a macrobiotic medicinal that will work for anybody. And so what I do with this is I'm heating up the water, and you do not want to boil this. You want it nice and hot, but not boiled. And what I do is I take about this much ginger. That's as much as I would need. And then I grate it. I grate it in a ginger grater. And then I have it grated. And what I do is make sure it's all in the palm of your hand. And then I just squeeze the ginger into there, okay? Keeping the pulp. Okay, now that's squeezed into there. Now I might turn it in my hand and do this. I don't want any of the pulp to go in here for a reason, okay? When I have maybe 2 more like that, and that'll be plenty. Then I put it in a piece of cheesecloth, which you can get from a hardware store too. Put it in a cheesecloth, so maybe 3 times that amount, okay? And then I just tie it up, keep it in there, tie it up with an elastic band. Put an elastic band around it. I'm going to finish this later for myself and do it tonight. So, and then leave that in the pot. It's nice and secure. You don't want the pulp floating around in this, because when you are using this as a scrub, it can burn your skin. Okay, so you want it in here, but not floating around. So then what I do is I bring it nice and hot, but do not boil, because you'll boil out the benefit. Then in the evening, I put a towel down, strip down, and I get a face cloth. I dunk the face cloth in this. It'll be really hot, okay? And then, so you don't burn your hands or anything, I just take a wooden spoon and I do this. Okay, and that gets the excess water out of it. And then quickly, you start scrubbing down your whole body. Everywhere. Your arms, your legs, your body, your neck, everywhere. And you do the whole body, and it feels wonderful. You will never feel so clean as you do after that. Now, the medicinal properties are good for 24 hours. So if you're really gung-ho, you can do it the next morning. And then that evening, the ginger's getting to me. That evening, what you can do is do a foot soak. So you heat it up, remember, no boiling. Then I put a towel down in front of the couch so you can do watching TV. Get your feet and legs in here, put a timer on for 20 minutes, and just soak in it. Very relaxing, very calming. So the other thing you can do, and I would do this as a treat, once a week or so, as a treat. And then more often, what I do is I buy Epsom salts. And Epsom salts is different. You don't have to heat the water up on the stove or anything. You just get a good, fill it up at the sink with a good, hot enough that, you can keep your feet in it comfortably for 20 minutes, but not too hot that you can't get your feet in it. And then I put about a good 2 cups of Epsom salts in this size pot. And I do the same thing. I put a towel down in front of the TV, 20 minutes, put my feet in, and have them a good soak. These are all good for aches and pains, stress, tension, holding tension in the body. And I guarantee you, as a caregiver of your child, you are on alert. You're watching your child. It's exhausting. And years of doing that, what happened to me is I just got so, my body finally just started having aches and pains, because you can't hold your muscles indefinitely in a place like that, and that's what you're doing. So these are nice things to please start. I hit a wall when Bree was 27, and I don't want any of you, and then I had to, climb my way back. So, and thank God I had a really good diet going. Thank God as a basis, or I would have never managed it. Okay, so that's ginger body scrub, and then you can do your feet in it after, then an Epsom Salts foot bath. The other thing that has helped me a lot through the years has been walking. I don't know how you can manage it. I've done it with Bree in a stroller. When I've had people in, I've gone out for walks. I have dealt with a lot of stuff through the walking. I put sunglasses on because sometimes it's crying, walking and crying. But it's that cross-pattern movement of swinging your arms and legs that works the left and right side of your brain and helps you solve problems. If you're having an issue with somebody, go for a walk with them and talk about it. Don't sit down, because you're going to work it out with a walk. And so many times I will come back with a solution to a problem because I've walked. My aide right now, who works with us and Bree, I'll come back and say, I got this idea walking. I got this idea walking, or this came to me walking. So any walking you can do. Supposedly a 10-minute walk will make you feel better. I've been in situations where I didn't have anybody and literally walked around the building, outside the building. Knew Bree was safe inside, and I just walk around the outside of the building. So it can be done, all right? Or just walk where I could always see the building. So walking, if you can do it. Another important thing, and please don't take as long as I did. Yoga. Yoga is something that you can get better at as you get older. And it took me breaking 2 arms and a foot to finally say I need to do yoga. I wasn't going to do yoga because it was too inactive for me. And I love yoga now. And I make sure I get to a minimum of 2 classes a week. I'm fortunate enough to live in a college town where they have the gym and the yoga classes, so that's really nice. But nowadays you can find a yoga class somewhere near you, I guarantee you. I've been in a position where I've taken Bree to class with me, because not presently, but in the past when she was, up until the time she was 11 and 12, she was always really good in her stroller, or I'd sit her in pillows on the floor, and I'd get my class done and she'd be right there with me. So it is possible to do it. Stress levels, 1 month, about 5 years ago, in 1 month, I had a member of the family die unexpectedly. I had a broken arm, one of my arms. So you can imagine changing diapers with a broken arm. And the place where I was renting, the plumber was doing a repair and caught the house on fire, and the damage was so bad I had to move out with Bree for 2 months, and then living somewhere else for 2 months with all the situations we have as caregivers. So I knew about stress, and that's when I started yoga. I said, okay, and started going to the gym. So if you can also, get to the gym once in a while, because you're lifting, and I don't know, a lot of you, your children will walk and talk, but Bree isn't a walker, so I'm lifting her at my age. And she is a minimum of 55 pounds, and I'm always trying to put weight on her, so I've got to stay strong to be able to lift her. And I'm a single mom, so we've talked about that. Then the other thing is, and this is one, I will admit it, I've been on and off with meditation for years. I've done different forms of meditation. Don't lie down. Not us of all people. If you lie down, meditate, you're going to fall asleep. And nothing wrong. Napping is good. If you can nap when your children are napping, nap. But I fall asleep. So I do meditate in the morning for 20 minutes. Put a timer on so I'm not thinking about the time. And my mind does wander. Absolutely, it will. Just keep bringing it back. And if right now you just go, I can't see, meditating, I want you to try and focus on breathing. Okay, even like you go to the bathroom, remind yourself, breathe. You know, you're in the car, remind yourself to breathe, because under stress we hold our breath. We just automatically tend to hold our breath, which makes more stress and more anxiety. So just try and breathe a few deep breaths right into your stomach and out, in and out. And just go, sometimes I just go peace in, you know, breathing in peace, breathing out the trauma. You know, breathing in breathing out the fear. I mean, the fear in our lives is phenomenal because it's our child, and we want them to live. Makes me cry still. But anyway, so you know, it's still there. We're watching, we're caring, we want the best for our children. And so now the next couple of things are people. This is a hard one because there will be people who will drain you, and you have to get them out of your life one way or another. It's not their intention to do that. It's not like they go in, but as caregivers, it's almost like people can smell us out in a way. And you know, I've looked after other people during these years, and it has been exhausting. Never again. I will tell people information, books to read, where to go, but I tell people, you know, I can't. There's no way. This is my job, and once it's done, my caregiving's done. So if you're around people and you don't feel good, you have to somehow get them out of your life. If the people around you don't make you feel better, or aren't helping you out, they're just draining you. And I have allowed people to do that. So just find a way to find supportive people. And I've got phenomenally supportive people. This is a phenomenally supportive town I live in now. But I've been in places where they haven't been, and where you're isolated and alone. The other thing that I'm thinking about after that is your spiritual life, and whatever your spiritual inclination is, find a way to practice it a bit every day. I get up in the morning, and for me it's meditation, and then I read a spiritual book for about 20 minutes. And that sets up my day, and that's really important to me. That's what motivates me, that's what keeps me going. Whether sometimes everything feels meaningless, everything feels awful, but God did not create a meaningless world. We might not understand what's going on, but there is some meaning in it. And many things that I haven't I get an insight into 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. I'm still learning at 36 years into this. But a spiritual life, if I didn't have a spiritual life, I'd be crushed. And this is a spiritual journey. It really is. You know, and I see all the good things, the real things of value Bree has, through caring for her, has forced me to look at and do. And the other thing is, I've never felt bad after going to a yoga class. I've never felt bad after eating good food. I've never felt bad after being around supportive people. I've never felt bad after going to the gym or for a walk. Really, no matter how bad I might have felt going into it. So the good things for you, you don't feel bad. I don't feel bad after I've meditated. But I do feel bad if I've had a glass of wine and I don't sleep well. I do feel bad. Never felt good on the antidepressant meds. So, you know, look at what makes you feel good long term, not just the instant fix, okay? And let me see, the only other thing at the very end, of course, which for me is very important, is the food, because I'm a big into, you know, food makes ourselves. Food makes who we are. And hey, you know, yeah, in the crisis, you need to stay awake. You might take the coffee, or I'm so stressed, I need to have a glass of wine. But I'm talking about long-term solutions. And seriously, the foods that you want to look at is being gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free, because those are all the things that will drain you long-term. They will drain your adrenals, drain your energy, lead to depression. And one good thing you can start with, besides the water, is just having two big salads a day, one at lunch and one at supper. And the thing you want to look out for is the salad dressing. That's where all the calories and fat are. So just use like olive oil and vinegar, or I use Hillary's. Hillary's has wonderful non-gluten, non-dairy, non-salad dressings, and you can find them on the web. Let me see, I've got Hillary's right here, I believe. Yes, this is Hillary's. This is ranch chia. It's delicious. Non-dairy, everything. So, and the other thing is to make it as simple as possible. When you're looking at your plate that you're about to eat, is it colorful? It needs to be colorful. Most plates that people eat in North America are either beige, brown, or white. The whole plate, there's no color. It's got to have reds and greens and the purples, make it colorful. And also that your plate, if it's considered like a pie, that 20% is animal protein, if you want to do your animal protein, and 80% is vegetable protein and grain. And that's a real easy way to make sure that you're keeping as balanced as possible. I think I've covered this stuff. I mean, there's usually books written on, like there's books written on oil pulling, books written on yoga, books written on massage, on meditation, on walking, every one of these things. There's books, hundreds of books written on them. So I'm just covering things that are financially viable for anybody out there, no matter what your income is or isn't. And easy to do. Find out a way you can, if you want to watch TV, you can do it while watching TV, and most of this is pretty simplistic. So I hope this gives you some food for thought.